Hey, what's up? This is Benny Sunshine, and it's kind of cool out, so I have a bed sheet on actually because I don't want to use my clean sheets. So this is just one that they left in the house. So, anyways, tell me why this guy's hairline that I saw, like it was so far back. It seriously looked like someone did his hairline with a Brillo pad. Like there were spots everywhere, and I usually don't notice guys' hairline. So for me to notice it, that says a lot because I really don't pay attention to that a hairstyle unless it's too bad. But whatever. Anyways, I have a story I want to tell you. Okay, so I used to work for a pet store back a while back, and there was this what I would later find out to be a white supremacist manager. And if he wasn't a white supremacist for sure, he definitely had white supremacist tendencies. Anyways, I was working there. I fill out the application. I come in, they hire me. Great. So, anyways, a few weeks go by, and then I start noticing, changes or whatever in people's behaviors and things. And I'm not one of those people who's always like, oh, it's racism. But no, when it's discrimination and racism, you know it. So, anyways, back to the story. I was there and I was working, and then the managers started like getting on to me for things that he wasn't getting on to anyone else in the store for. And I noticed it, and then I kind of went along with it because I needed the job and I was going to try and keep the job. Anyways, so, and then as time goes by, he brings in an assistant manager from another store. And ironically, I used to go to school with this girl a long time ago. And so she comes in and she works there. We have a good conversation when she gets there. But all of a sudden, I guess she didn't like something I did in the store, like a few days after she started working there. And she just started treating me differently or whatever. Then I come in, I work, I clean, I'm not a lazy associate. I do everything that I need to do at this pet store. And so one day I hear her, she was offering someone else some food that worked there, and it was another manager, and he was there, and he's like, well, why don't you ask her if she wants some food? He had declined, and he was talking about me when he said, why don't you ask her if she wants some food? And then she offered me some food. Like, I knew she didn't like me anyways because she really wasn't trying to be that generous. So I just, I declined. And then as time went on, it's like she tried to force an interaction or a confrontation with me because she wanted me to know that she didn't like me or something like that. One day she's like, okay, she told me tomorrow you'll take your break at this time. And then I was like, okay, so tomorrow comes and I go to ask her if I can take my break. She's like, you don't need a break, and making a scene in front of everybody. And I was thinking to myself, I was only asking her to take the break that she told me to take. I was asking her permission to do something that she told me to do explicitly. So I don't understand why she's trying to get in an uproar like I wasn't doing my job, or that I was trying to, act like I was trying to just go somewhere when I wasn't scheduled. So anyway, so with that under the belt, there was this other manager, because we had like three assistant managers and then one store manager, which is the guy that hired me, the one I said was a white supremacist, and these other people seem racist or at least prejudiced too. Anyways, the other manager, the bald-headed one, would like try to hit on me on the side, and when I didn't pick up his advances, then he started treating me differently too. Ironic, right? No, not really, because I'm used to people doing that and being prejudiced and not owning up to it. Anyways, I'm from a small town in a small area where people have their prejudices. It's predominantly white, but anyways, so it's not like I'm surprised by this behavior, but I'm glad I don't live there anymore. But anyways, going on, so the bald-headed guy, whatever, starts treating me different after all that stuff. And there was one other black guy who worked there. We got along great, and they talked about him all the time when he wasn't around. And the other two older female white associates, they were talking about him. I'm like, they probably talk about me too, so I'm not going to sit here and entertain this. And so one day, the assistant manager who transferred over here, she's like, who gave him, or she was talking to someone, she said, who gave out my number, but she wasn't talking to me. And some guy came in the store and said, oh, I need her number, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw the bald-headed assistant manager who tried to hit on me giving out her number, and she was saying it like she wanted me to just turn around and answer like I didn't do it or say that I did it or whatever. I never gave her number out. It wasn't me. But I'm not about to go up to someone and explain myself just because they want an explanation. If you want to know, then you need to come up and ask me like you did everybody else and show me that same respect. I didn't give out her number, so I just ignored it. So it's just another childish antic that she was trying to pull. And then one day this lady came in and she got really mad at me or whatever. Some customer. I didn't do anything to her. And then all of a sudden, she gets really angry, and the guy is like, oh, our manager calls me back to the back room, and he's like, you're fired. And he's like, blah, but he gave me some BS reason, like nothing really specific, just saying things. He's like, oh, it's just not working out, blah blah. And in Florida, it's a no fault state. The last I checked too. Florida's a no fault state. The last I checked too. I'm sorry for that pause in the video. My phone just told me my battery's going low. But anyways, so they don't have to give you a reason when they terminate you, as long as the reason doesn't violate your protected rights, I believe, which is race, religion, and all that stuff. But it's not fair that they would do that. So it's like I have to deal with discrimination sometimes a lot when it goes like in employment opportunities. I've dealt with this before. Like I said, I'm not someone who just yells racism, racism, racism just because I can. I do it because it's happening. Like, I've dealt with things like that, and so he terminates me. And like I said, it was he didn't even give really a specific reason. He's just like, it's just not working out and stuff like that. And so I'm just like, I'm not surprised by it, because the two middle-aged white associates at work, they probably told him something, because I could tell they weren't too fond of me either. And then that assistant bald-headed manager, when I turned down his advances, he went and told the manager or whatever that I yelled at him, which I did not. I did not yell at him at all. So it's just funny how a lot of white people will try and use stuff against you when you don't do exactly what they want you to do. It's like they try to exploit you. It's kind of like, I guess that's slave master, Negro Bedouin mentality or whatever. Like, if you don't do exactly what they say or whatever, like if you don't succumb to them sexually or something in that way or whatever, they'll try and, make your name look bad and like talk about you and try to get you, terminated and whatever. So without even asking me if I yelled at him or not, he just assumed that I did it. The manager that hired me, he just assumed what this bald-headed manager or guy said, and it's not even fair. Like, it's the complete injustice that I face there. So I'm used to just going through like that. Another black associate that worked there, I found out that he ended up leaving not too long after I left. I didn't know if he got fired or if he quit, but he told me he didn't work there anymore. So yeah, that just goes to show you, it's like, it was like, their plan, they just needed enough for just saying that they have another person of color working there, and they just started weeding us out. So I guess that's the only reason why they hired him and me. But yeah, I don't understand why people do things like that. I know you're a manager, but you still have to treat people like people and not discriminate against them. Like, I know you're a manager. It's not a badge to disrespect people just because you have associates. Like, you're not better than anyone just because you're in a position of power. I know we have to respect your authority and do what you ask us to do, which is in our job requirements. Anything that's within our job requirements, if you ask us to do it, I know we're bound to do it, but you don't get to disrespect people. It's not fair, even though people do it all the time. Like, they think it's okay. A lot of supervisors and managers, they abuse their power. There are a lot of people walking around there who are managers and supervisors that don't need to be managers and supervisors. I'm telling you that right now. But yeah, so this has been the Sunshine. Fly just landed on me. Get away from me. Stay posted.